Messi and Co. Breaking Major League en la ciudad del sol. Here in Miami, we know who's el campeón. Leo my team, Suárez on the field, Alex wedding dating. Con Busquets ya es un win. The trio Fabi singing muchachos. Las familias se escuchan los barrios. Esta camiseta pinky la llevan todos los guachos. Los rookies quedan sin comentarios. Messi ambetea, tiki-taki gol. El estadio Chase bañado en gloria y sudor. Aquí se ama y se respeta el balón. Florida es tu casa, acostúmbrate al calor. Estate listo pa' Messi and Co. Estate listo pa' Messi and Co.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Inter Miami of Messi and Co. I'm here, but we got guys switch places, or else I'm in.
It's already throwing you off.
It's throwing me off. Like I'm.
There we go.
Yes,
there we go,
that feels better. That
Now
feels a lot better.
We're all where we're supposed to be.
We're in the right positions.
Welcome to a very special edition of Messi and Co. I'm here, Ashley, as always, with my incredible co-hosts Gian and Matt. And there's so much to talk about, of course. But first and foremost, Inter Miami, for the second out of 3 years, reaches the League's Cup final, defeating Orlando City 3-1 in what was a game of intensity, drama, and Lionel Messi. And I just want to say, before I even ask about your days or anything like that, feel free to call me Profe, because I got if I remember correctly, the lineup and formation I said should happened, and people are going to be like, it didn't work. It worked. They just weren't executing the goals, and I believe that it was worth trying. And I can name 100 times that Yannick Bright saved a defensive moment in the first half that people wouldn't even realize. But I digress. We'll get to that in a second. But what a match. Gian and Matt, how are we feeling? What's the vibe? Let's go.
I do want to hold my hands up, because I need to show some respect to Ash, because we were like, there was never going to be a world with the ball and what was it? The ball, Bright, and Busi in the midfield.
And I said, I'm like, watching it last week, even without Messi, they're too good. The three of them played too well together that you had to try it.
Which none of us doubted, right? But like, the only thing we did doubt was the fact how, or if Mascherano changing or making any changes like that. Like, we just thought he would stick with his normal plan. But regardless, props to Ashley, make her a head coach, and it ended up working out, and I'm super excited. I'm super pumped to win this game, to beat our in-state rivals, to be in the League's Cup final, and in a very dramatic and very intense, very just fiery way. And I just have so many positive emotions right now.
I feel the same way. What a game. That was a crazy game. It was exciting. There were fights, there was controversy, there were goals, there was everything that you wanted in a game of this magnitude.
Literally, take my word for it, everything.
Everything
happened last night.
Amazing. And also, I'm good. I'm good today. Had a few things I've been busy with today, but I'm happy to be here and talking to the Miami. And man, do we have a lot to talk about? What a crazy game!
It was a crazy game, and for the first time, I think I am wearing, like I pointed out, official Inter Miami gear for an episode. Because I normally just wear something basic, but I showed you guys my vintage. This is from the first season. And you know what? After last night's game and the way that, there were adjustments, but credit to Mascherano, knowing that he wasn't going to be on the sidelines, obviously still with the earpiece, but trusting in the fact that, look, Tadeo Allende needed to be benched in order to, because he wasn't scoring from minute one. And when he came in the game, he made a huge positive impact, right? So sometimes you have to make those decisions. Ian Frey getting the start over Cello, someone that he probably in his heart was like, I've had so much more experience with Chella than Ian Frey, but we all know Ian Frey is the better player and was more of an attacking threat. And then giving Baltasar Rodriguez a chance after that golazo. In retrospect, Segovia, who was a sub who came in, ended up getting the goal that seals the game. All of this to say when you're looking at it retrospectively, this match, it all kind of fit into this perfect puzzle where there were ups and downs, there was intensity, but I think you saw a really great coaching performance from Javier Mascherano, and I think he deserves credit because he totally built it through the game, and he figured out when to bring in the players at the right time, when to take out certain players, when to start certain players, where to start certain players, and who certain players should focus on. So in the end, while, yeah, we were down 1-0, you're going to 50 minutes, you're worried. I wasn't worried for a second. I wasn't worried for a second. I knew we were gonna score, and I knew we were gonna win because something I'm gonna take another thing off of the Matt book. We have him, and you don't. So, as long as he is on my team, we're winning. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I look. We'll talk about the lineup coming up in a bit because there were, as you said, there were definitely some changes. I think some unexpected changes. So we'll go and dive into that. But before, just in general, like the game, you know, we went down 1-0, and I'll say I wasn't as confident as you in the sense of that I didn't have any worries. I thought obviously that we could still win and that we probably would still win, but I was genuinely worried um, going down 1-0 at the half and not necessarily, still having chances, but not necessarily putting those chances away. I think I was worried about guys like Angulo that, just like last time, started off this game kind of giving us a heap of trouble with his speed. Muriel was also in the right spots. So I thought I was a little bit worried going into that second half, but obviously you depend on Messi and his magic, and then you depend on the experience of a lot of these players that have played in way tougher matches than this. So you're talking about Champions League games, you're talking about matches in La
And who
Liga,
has the
Clásicos.
skills. Yeah.
So you depend on those type of guys and these for these types of games, and at the end of the day, they came through, and that's what's most important. And um, I don't know. I liked what I saw from this team. There are definitely different things I can pick out here and there, but I think
Yeah.
overall it was a really good match by Inter Miami, by Messi, by Jordi coming back from injury. They just
Jordi Alba deserves a
incredible.
moment because you know what? There's no way out. I mean, to your point, we realized it was a bone bruise and it was not a serious internal, ligament injury, but it still hurt like hell. Gian and I talk about when stubbing our toes and how he cracked his toe. I mean, I literally feel like I'm like I just like put me under anesthesia. Like that's better than my like stubbing
Yeah,
my toe. So the fact that he was able to play it that way last night, just an absolute warrior. I think this is a really good comment. Um, because before we get in too deep into the lineups, I agree. I want to talk about the first half overall, first. But Mascherano evolving into a better coach in front of our eyes, I agree is happening because at the Champions Cup when he got to that semifinal, we felt that in those moments, he wasn't making the right decisions and he wasn't adjusting and he wasn't doing, he wasn't in control the way we needed him to. And in this match and in this tournament and this specific, things he's had to deal with recently, such as, it's not easy to try and tell Lionel Messi when he can and can't play. It's not an easy conversation to have, especially when you're only 2.5 years apart in age, and the other one is the
mhm.
greatest to ever play the sport. But he is what he showed yesterday, I think was like, I don't wanna be, I don't wanna be, like, slangy or whatever, like, cojones. Like, he showed that I'm the coach, I'm the one who I see my vision, I see how we can maximize this team and figure out a way to win. So,
Yeah. Matt, you were closer to the field than us, I think. How'd you see the game?
I know you guys were talking about did you guys use the word doubt or no?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have doubt that we were gonna win,
Uh-huh.
but I wasn't as assured as Ash was
Okay.
when we were down 1-0. I had a sense of worry.
No doubt.
Right. So because I'm trying to say, I think there's a difference between being doubtful and then being like a little bit nervous. Because I
Yeah,
think the nervousness part is super, super normal, especially in the semifinal when it's a win or go home situation. The doubt, zero doubt. I had zero
yeah,
doubt we were going to get the job done. From my perspective and from my angle, I sat in section 124, so I was behind the away section net, and I was super, super close to the field, and I saw everything like fantastic. Like we were playing, we were dominating, we were looking good, we were connecting well, and I just saw Messi like what Messi said. Messi played with a little bit of fear in the first half. He said he was worried about that injury that he had earlier, but he got more comfortable as the game went on. He was still looking good regardless. Baltasar looked amazing. Suarez was doing his thing. Um, Everybody was just doing their thing. We were clicking very, very well, and that was something that we were lacking or something that we were missing in recent times. The chemistry, the seamlessness from this team, wasn't there for a period of time. But tonight or last night, I should say, the team showed it, and it paid off because that win was 100% deserved, and it honestly could have been more.
yeah. And I think the cherry on top is they asked Messi how he felt after the game. Uh, Antonella for the League Cup for MLS was asking him, and he said he felt perfect. That
Mhm.
he said that he went into that game not feeling 100%.
Nervous. Yeah. Yeah.
And then as the game evolved, he started feeling better. Then he went into the second half, and then he felt fully confident with the way his body felt, with the way his injury progressed, and that now he ended the game like in tip-top shape, which I think is great news for us.
Yeah, I mean, I kept saying to Gian in the beginning, and it's even funny. Even in the beginning, he wasn't. He says he wasn't his best. The way he still does his feints and moves, I'm like, he's good.
Mhm.
He's good.
Yeah,
He looked good.
Dude, the League's Cup final is like 4 days away. It's on the 31st. Like the
it's
fact
this
that
Sunday.
I
Yeah.
think that that's huge for us
Huge,
to know that he ended the game
feeling
feeling
great.
perfect.
Yeah,
Like that's great in a quick turnaround of 4 days.
1000%.
100%. So with this game, like we talked about earlier, and we're gonna kind of bounce around in topics because the topic I want to talk about is the rivalry aspect because I think we saw that in full display last night. It was a lot of strong, in my opinion. Like the first half, I mean, people were saying that the Inter Miami fans were being dramatic. No, they weren't. We were watching the replays in the press box. They were kicking, like hitting heads, like dirty tackles, and it was intense early, but it was a true match and what we wanted to see. And we got to see different players on our team step up in ways, and Ian Frey, Tadeo coming on as a sub, even though he's been a starter, and of course, Iraq, as always, Busquets, all had really interesting insights, I think, of their perspective of the game, and so we should talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, let's watch some of their interviews. Before I put on one of the first interviews, I just wanted to touch on something you said, Ash, which I thought was true. It was like, um, I felt like there was a lot of more one-sided aggressiveness,
Yeah,
borderline,
it wasn't like us faking it, like,
borderline
normally,
like
sometimes
dirty because they
we
were. I mean,
gamesmanship, but they were tough tackles.
Juarez was got hit in the face, I think 2 or 3 times within a span of like 10 or 15 minutes. And then De Paul also, I'm sure Matt, when you saw that Paul got
Yeah.
hit, you probably almost jumped on the field.
I
But like
was
there were,
meant to
Almost got
send
a
it.
there were
Yasin. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and even and you can tell with just like when with Messi and how much passion he plays with. Like there was one where he got pulled down. I think it was. It looked like a
Wow,
clear foul, and he was
and you
giving it
never
to the
see him
ref.
do
Like
that so
he was
early.
letting the
Yeah.
ref have it. So just wanted to expound on what you said, Ash, is 100% true. All right, so yeah, let's take a look at some of these interviews. I think there's some interesting things that we can dissect on there. We'll take a look at Ian Frey's, the Tadeo Allende, which Ian Frey got the start over Cello. So it was nice to see. Tadeo Allende speaks, a player that didn't start, that usually does start. So that was interesting, and we'll talk about that in our lineup segment coming up next. And then Sergio Busquets. So let's go ahead and hear a little bit about Ian Frey, from Ian Frey rather.
I don't know. I think it was just mentality. We realized we got scored on right at the half. I mean, I thought we had a pretty positive half, and then the goal happened, and then our mentalities changed, and we wanted to win, obviously.
Is that a surprise? It surprised me when I see him from the outside. Messi at 38 years old, still seems to be as hungry as ever. Does it surprise you as his teammate?
I mean, I don't know if the surprise is the right word because he's been doing this for so long. I mean, it's super impressive that the age is. I mean, he's still doing it at this age. It's incredible.
Ian, was tonight's result especially satisfying considering the opponent and state rival was dominated in the season?
Yeah, I mean, we had to win this game at home. They beat us here 3-0 before, and we just lost them 4-1. So yeah, we had to win. And yeah, of course.
Yeah. How does it feel to book a spot in the final and to beat Orlando City finally?
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel most importantly, it's amazing to be in the finals of the Leagues Cup. I mean, we're gonna win. We want to win this tournament this year, and yeah, it feels amazing. Yeah, again.
Yeah, so I think there are a few things, tidbits that we can dissect. The fact that he felt that the team was playing well in that second half, excuse me, in that first half, despite being down 1-0, something that was reiterated by coaching as well. Javier Morales, not Mascherano, since Mascherano wasn't available. Javier Morales reiterated the same thing that he felt, and Mascherano also felt once they were discussing it after that the team did well in that first half. So Ian Frey says the same thing, and then just talks about how important it is for them as a team to beat their in-state rival that really had beaten them the last two times by a large margin. So it's not only is it a Leagues Cup semifinal, but some people think maybe the rivalry isn't that much. It's a big rivalry.
Florida is pink. Florida is pink. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know what else did you guys get from that? I thought it was interesting from Ian
thought, Ian Frey has been obviously a very special player to all of us that we've seen for years and has had extraordinarily unlucky injuries that have derailed him, because I would say, and like I said before, I'm basically a coach now at this point. I just need to take the test. Like I'm just like a soccer genius. If Ian Frey didn't have the three ACLs or I know the Achilles or just those injuries that he's experienced so sequentially, he'd be playing in Europe right now for a top side team in any of the 5 leagues. He is so good. It's him, Yannick Bright too. He's not going to be with us for very long. I'm promising it to all of you. He's that good that he's going to get snatched real fast. But Ian Frey, we always say it's never a question of effort with Cello or anything against him personally. And sometimes he does have his moments where he puts in the effort, he covers the ground, he does his things. It's no shade to him. It's just Ian Frey, his technical ability, his speed, his size, and his just IQ shows. And that's why we were able to do so much on the right side in the beginning of the game. That was really great to see, even though you didn't have Allende there, but you felt comfortable because you had Frey. And so what I would say to people who, in the first half were like, they're not playing well, they're missing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they missed a few chances, but if you were watching it from end to end, what I felt the whole time until the last minute goal in the last second was that every player was covering every player's back. For every header from Orlando into the box that Ian went over Ian Frey's head, Yannick Bright was standing right there ready to help him. Rodrigo De Paul, same thing. Busquets, the same thing. Jordi Alba,
I think you have a future as an agent. I think that you can, with the passion that you speak with, I think that you could sit
Ian, give me a call.
You can sit Ian Frey and Yannick Bright in a room and convince them that next season you'll have them playing in Liverpool. Like you have that much passion for those two guys. Like it's crazy. Literally, try it. Like I think you could sign both of them.
Well, I'm also trying this gig where I talk to these gentlemen about this team. But
anything from Ian Frey?
Yeah, what did you think, Matt?
The only thing I could say about Ian Frey is the fact that, and I want to point out what Ashley said about his injury history. The fact that this kid, this 22-year-old kid, he's went through the amount of injuries that he had so early on in his career, and he managed to overcome that and still continue to be a very consistent player, a very good player currently for an MLS side, and probably the best MLS side in the league right now. It's incredible. It's honestly incredible to see, because nobody is going to be going through that. No normal player goes through that. No normal player goes through ACLs, overcomes those ACL injuries, out for seasons. He's out for multiple seasons, out for months at a time, and still can come back to a semifinal, be the starting player at the right back position, and play one heck of a game. And so we have to give Ian Frey the props that he deserves for overcoming those obstacles and not letting that affect his career in any sort of negative way, and not affect him negatively in terms of impacting this game in a negative way. So huge props to Ian Frey. I really hope he can continue on this path and continue to grow as a player, because his future is very, very bright.
And really quick, Gian, before you move on to the next interview, I did want to say what felt like, I mean, I think Sunday would make it very like full circle.
Mhm.
But think about this. The first game Lionel Messi ever played for us was in a Leagues Cup match where he scored the winning goal. And at the end of the match, he dedicated it to Ian Frey, who had torn his ACL.
Yeah.
And now here we are 2 years later, or I guess, yeah, two
Yeah,
2
2 years
years
later.
later,
Mhm.
um, starting with him on the field and being able to contribute to another Inter Miami finals berth. I think that's pretty cool when you think about it like that.
Extremely poetic. It's extremely poetic, and it's
So
amazing.
Yeah, and Messi was asked about it also at the end of the game by Antonella about how special it is, and he said, "Yeah, it's special. This is how I started, and we're here again, and with another chance to win the second one." But yeah, so let's go ahead. We'll listen to Tadeo Allende a little bit here too.
Y lo que sigue ganando es increíble por su ganas de competir. Él entrena así, vive la vida así, por eso justamente ganó lo que ganó y sigue compitiendo, sea la copa que sea con quien sea un entrenamiento, él va a competir al máximo siempre y siempre va a querer ganar, y eso lo hace el mejor del mundo.
Vamos a la jugada de penal, ¿qué sentís vos? El penal que toman, una final de
Fue una jugada que le gano la posición y me agarra la camiseta, me agarra del pecho y de la espalda, y como le estaba ganando la posición no me soltaba, yo atino a cabecear y bueno, él me llevó el forcejeo a caerme y para mí es un penal claro.
¿Qué significa para el grupo estar en la nueva final, en este caso
Y algo muy importante, un paso grandísimo para el grupo, tenemos un gran desafío que estamos esperando el rival, obvio, pero bueno, es lo que soñamos, es lo que queremos todos y se nos dio.
Yep.
what a good attitude to have after knowing, that obviously the streak he's been on. He knows the feelings, and obviously, like any professional athlete, you go through slumps. To still one, obviously the beginning was the theme of the episode, which is just how magnificent Lionel Messi continues to be and surprises everyone every day, even though we know what's going to happen just the way he does. But for Allende personally, of course, it was definitely a penalty. He created a lot when he came in the second half, and he had a good attitude from the minute he stepped on the pitch. So, I think great to see, great attitude, and hopefully a spark to get more of that confidence back and continue trying to create those goal scoring opportunities.
I was just going to say the same thing. I thought about his attitude. I thought his attitude coming off the bench was very important, because, and like I predicted, and like how Gian predicted before in the preview, we thought he would start because he was Mascherano's main guy on that right-hand side. And despite him being not in the best of form recently and not able to find that last 1% to put goals away, even though he's getting into those opportunities, he was still getting minutes and starting positions. And now we get to see a very rare sighting of Tadeo Allende on the bench for Baltasar Rodriguez. And when he came on and played the last 25 minutes of the game, he was still doing his thing. I mean, he was getting positions to score. He was trying to put his team in good scenarios and situations to give him the advantage. He ended up winning the penalty. He got, if you guys know, he got punched in the face by Gallese at some point, and that wasn't called. But we don't.
Oh my
have
God,
to
yeah,
talk
that was crazy. I
and
remember
and
seeing
I'm
that.
and imagine I'm seeing this from section 124 on the other side of the field, and I know for a fact he got punched. and that still didn't get called. But I digress. So, but he's putting himself out there. He's putting his body on the line for Inter Miami, and regardless of whether he was starting or on the bench, so you have to give Tadeo Allende the huge props.
Yeah, I love the attitude, and I agree with him. Clear penalty with the shirt pulling. That was
Yeah, of
very clear.
course.
So,
Oh yeah, 1000%.
so
Like
great.
from like 3 different places he was pulling. It's
Yeah.
not like it was like a little tug and he,
Mhm.
flopped. Like it was he physically pulled him down. Like it was no
Mhm.
question.
Yeah, clear as day. All right, so then let's listen to lastly Sergio Busquets.
La primera parte fue muy disputada. Sí que es verdad que cometimos un error en la ocasión de Angulo, en un córner a favor nuestro, que eso no puede pasar. Pero en general fue un partido muy igualado, muy disputado, que tuvimos ocasiones ambos. Y bueno, el equipo se fue perdiendo. En la segunda parte yo creo que fuimos más valientes, que lo fuimos a buscar. Y de ahí que ellos vinieran un poquito atrás, tuvimos alguna ocasión. Y bueno, luego llegó la jugada de penalti, que para mí es claro, y luego la ventaja, ¿no?, de quedarse con un jugador más.
Al final más en tu carrera, para vos, para Jorge, para Leo, para Luis.
Sí, muy contento, como he dicho antes, de llegar a otra final. Este torneo era muy difícil, había muy buenos equipos mexicanos. Yo creo que hicimos un muy buen torneo y hoy pues nos pudimos meter en la final y contento.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah,
he was
no.
happy.
Say again.
I'm saying he's happy. He's happy they're in another final.
Of
And
course.
I like how he addressed the rivalry a lot in the beginning. He's like, from moment one, like we were, they felt the intensity. They felt that it was going to be very physical, demanding. I love that he took responsibility for the goal. But I think a point he said that I think is something to really highlight is that in the second half we felt braver. And I think that tells you everything, right? It tells you about how they were coached, how the rotations went in, and how they felt and planned to grow into the game in the way that they did, and how in the end, yeah, you had a penalty. It was a double yellow that turned to a red card. That gives you a disadvantage, of course, but you could see from the 60th minute on, Inter Miami were building and building and building and getting closer and closer and being more and more fearless. And so it always felt like it was going to happen, in my opinion. And I think it's great that we have a leader like Busquets on the field every match being there, and it being his 100th match. I don't know if you guys saw at the end,
Yes.
all the players
Absolutely.
stayed for the picture of him with his 100 jersey. Crazy to think that already in such a short time, him and Alba's only a few away, and Messi's
Mhm.
only a few away. Like it shows that when they came here, everyone thought it was just a walk around, say goodbye to soccer. They play, and they play with their heart every single match, and we're lucky to have all of them. We really are.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Every single time. And trying to piece off what you said and what Busi said. I mean, we were playing very well since minute one, in my opinion. A lot of people can criticize how we played in that first half, but I thought we were all over Orlando from my perspective, from sitting there at the field. And yes, we had that one moment of a mistake, and like you said, Busi owned up to it. He said that there was a mistake, and we left Angulo by himself. Then I think it was Pasalic that ended up scoring. And that happened a couple times in the first half. And at that point, as fans, at least for me, this is something we've seen before. We've seen Inter Miami get scored on first. We go down by 1, go down by 2, and then we lose all motivation, and then we completely throw the game away. That's exactly what happened in Champions Cup earlier this year. We would go down by 1, we would go down by 2, and that's it. The game was over. But that's not what happened last night. We went up by 1 just before the half. Then second half, we went in. That's that world-class mentality that Busquets have and all of those top guys have that they're kind of teaching everyone else, is that you're down at the half. This is the semifinal. We need to win this game. We're playing good. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing to get the result that we need. And that's exactly what they did. Busquets motivated everybody. Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez and Depol, they all kind of just shared that
Maxi
same
Falcon,
mentality
I'd say
to
too.
everybody. So
Shows so much experience.
and like you said, from the beginning of the halftime onwards, we were on top of it, and they went a man down. Orlando went a man down. We had even more confidence. We equalized with Lionel Messi's goal, And then from there, the game was ours.
Agreed. Let's I think this is the interesting part. I know this is the moment Ash has been waiting for. Dissect the lineup, because she
Yes.
had a prediction that none of us thought would happen. That none of us, I mean, to be fair, none of us said that we wouldn't want to see it.
Of
We
course.
just
Mhm.
didn't see it happening. And it's funny that when I got to because Ash was driving, I helped her out with tweeting out the lineup, and she posted it for us. But I realized after, like, she comes in, she's like, "Did you see?" And I'm like, "No." And then I'm like, "Oh damn, I missed that. You actually got the lineup you thought was gonna happen." So let's talk about that,
Well,
Macherano.
I wouldn't say all of it. I would say I would say the part I wanted, that I cared the most about, happened. I did not expect, and if you could bring it up on the screen, John, I think it'd be cool because we can look at the way Inter Miami started this match. I thought, like I said, I thought that they were gonna create a way where Bright and Busquets would play, and DePaul would be able to move around more freely, and then more specifically on the right or left side. I thought Segovia had the possibility of being sacrificed for this type of formation to work. And again, look, he scores the third goal, so no question on his ability. And hopefully, it'll be a constant rotation. But I didn't expect him to also take out Allende and put the trust in Ian Frey. So from my opinion, uh, we won and everything, and, like, was it perfect? No. Did we feel like we were missing goals? Yes. But what I saw, and what I thought, the reason the first half that we weren't down even, a couple goals or X, Y, and Z, knowing how limited of amount of attacking players we have and how good Orlando has been, you could see from Ustadi all the way up to Suarez, everyone knew exactly where to be and exactly who to cover and how to help their teammate and what space to go to. So I never felt like a moment that the team was unsure of what to do next. It was just a matter of, as we said, execution. Like in the beginning, like Rodrigo de Paul had a clear shot for a goal, had a couple of chances in the box. There's just been some of that final touch, but what I like to see, and agreed, you can't do it every match because it does make you less attacking in a way, but I think it makes you more in control of the game, which leads to more attacking chances, if that makes sense. If I mean it in that sort of angle.
Mhm.
But I'm happy I got to see it. I'm sure we'll see different iterations of it. Um, but Yannick Bright is, and I know we were laughing at me, I keep bringing him up, was vital to this game, and I can name 5 off the top of my head of him being just in the right place at the right time, helping his fellow defender, helping a midfielder, going in transition, having to commit a foul, taking the ball away. You need someone that you're not just depending on Busquets to do by himself, and you need Yannick right there to help him do it, because it opens it up for everyone else to feel more comfortable to make things happen. So that's what my thinking is. I'm not saying it's a perfect lineup. I was right, amazing bench Karamaski, or rather bench Segovia and Allende every game. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I think there are formulas and ways to create balances and allows us to see the three of them play together more.
I'm trying to put my words together in the best way possible, but I was super excited when I saw this lineup, and I was super insanely shocked at the same time, because I'm like, I just did not expect, with all due respect to Mascherano and to Ashley, I just did not expect this kind of
The
You guys
dynamic
play
duo,
crazy. You guys
like
play
Mate and
crazy.
Ash.
like, yes. And props. I mean, like, I'm maybe Ashley DM'd Mascherano like the night before, the night of the preview, and it was like, you need to do this, or if not, we gotta, we're gonna
I don't
lose.
know, what kind of
And
woman
he
do you think
listened.
I am?
I'm that no, you're someone who wants Inter Miami to win. That's
No, I'm like, I want Yannick Bright out of that team.
exactly.
Remember, she's their agent. She needs Yannick and
Exactly.
Frey in the game.
No,
To
but I'm glad.
Tottenham. Tottenham
Well,
sign them tomorrow, please.
whatever
Sorry,
you did,
go on.
Ashley, I'm glad you did it because this lineup was extreme. This was probably the best game, if not one of the best games I think that we've seen Inter Miami play in a really really long time. And he- Baltasar getting the start over Tarasco Segovia, insanely shocking because he hasn't touched the field for many minutes this year. He had the one golazo that he scored the
And he
other
got
day,
rewarded for it though, and I
and
think it's
and
good
that's what I was gonna
coaching.
say. I didn't think he was
Yeah.
gonna get that starting position, but that's it, it was a great way to score your first goal for the club, and I'm glad that he got the start. And he played fantastic against Orlando, absolutely fantastic, really really comfortable on the ball, dribbling through players, linking up extremely well, and being there at the stadium, being that close. I swear to you, and I swear to everybody that's watching right now, that was probably the first time in my life as an Inter Miami fan that I did not see Suarez yell at a player.
Oh
I
wow.
don't think Suarez yelled at Baltasar one time. Or maybe he did, but like not in a negative way. Like
They felt
if
they all
Baltasar
felt
lost
calm.
possession,
They all felt calm.
if he misplaced a pass, which was very few times, as Suarez would be like, "Good job," or like, "Nice try," whatever, and keep going. Like it was the first time I've ever seen that. I promise you, if that was Fafa or anybody else, he would have been going crazy. But no, so that's when you know. I think even Suarez has a lot of respect for Baltasar Rodriguez because he's a great player. We saw the roaming of Messi and De Paul in the midfield, and that was great. That was amazing to see. We got to see Messi run on the right hand side a couple of times. Yannick Bright and Busi as the double pivots was amazing. I thought Yannick Bright locked down that midfield pretty nice. I think we saw Busi push up a little bit higher at certain times from my
Or
perspective.
drop back a little lower if needed. Yeah.
Yeah, like they would kind of mix and move around, and like that's what I'm saying. Like it just flowed, it gelled so well. Everybody knew where to go. Everybody covered everybody. Ian Frey did a fantastic job, and Jordi Alba, like I said, is probably arguably man of the match next to Lionel Messi. If you're not going to give it to Messi, you have to give it to Jordi Alba. He played a fantastic game because even in the last 15 minutes, both Ian Frey and Jordi Alba were gassed, absolutely gassed, and they were still putting in the 100% that they could have in that moment. So love the lineup. We need to play this in the final, and like because this is it. This should be it
Well, and
for the rest
let
of
me
the
let me
time.
say this really quickly before you go, Gian, because whatever you say, I'm gonna not. It's not that I'm gonna disagree with you or anything like that. And I know you saw good parts of the game, but I think what this lineup showed was a perfect example of a game having a crescendo and a team feeling like they had all 90 minutes because it wasn't like this was the end all be all. This lineup was the beginning and they knew they could grow into it and they could make the changes. When you have your Allende's and your Segovias and then you have a Busquets who can't move a lot or is trying to help defense or you don't feel Cello moving up, for example. When you feel in that minute 1 that you're already locked up and have to be on your super toes, it makes it difficult, but I think what I felt, whether it wasn't the perfect result, I felt that the team was completely cohesive and knew who was gonna be where you're supposed to be, and then when the subs came, they were the perfect subs to come in for the right moments. They helped the game crescendoed, and then it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And this was, I think, an example of where it went like that from start to finish.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a lineup I want to see in the final. I saw the lineup and I liked it. In the sense of like, okay, this is interesting. This is something that I feel like you almost have possibly your best 11 on the field. But what's interesting about this team, and I feel is a dilemma, is that your best 11 maybe isn't the best lineup. It's weird. Like I don't know if, and this is how I'll try to explain that. To have Yannick Bright and De Paul both on the field is part of having your best 11 on the field. But what happens is the same thing when you first presented this lineup and the idea of having Yannick Bright, Busquets, and De Paul all in at the same time was there being an issue with the attack, not having enough attacking players. You can control the midfield, you can help control the opponent's attack a lot better, But when it comes to attacking, your only real attackers were, other than obviously Alba, was I think the Tadeo Allende. Your wingers were Alba on the left and Allende.
Ian Frey, you mean?
Well, Ian, no, not really. I mean,
Oh,
well,
you
yeah,
don't mean this game. You
'cause
don't mean this game.
Allende would go more as a center forward, and it'd be Ian Frey in this case. So, but I felt
Right.
like the real actual attackers were Allende, and you didn't have that running in as your center forward. And Javi Morales was asked about that in the post game, about how he saw the offense and how he saw that second half, and he even said it, that they were talking during halftime with Mascherano, and they understood that while they liked what they saw in that first half, like they had no issues with that first half despite being down a goal. Same thing that some of the other guys said in these post-game conferences. They had no issues. They were down 1-0, but they loved what they saw on the field. But Morales said that Mascherano felt like they needed an extra oomph, an extra punch. Literally said an extra punch in the attack. And I feel like, okay, we all expected that with this lineup, that we weren't going to have that extra punch. And look, minute 73. No, actually, let's go to minute 65. Minute 65, Baltasar comes out, Tadeo Allende comes in.
Great substitution.
And then minute 73, 8 minutes later, Segovia comes in, and Lujan comes out, and Busquets goes in and becomes a third center back. At that point in time,
stunning substitution.
it completely opens up the game because you have a back three of Falcon, I believe, who else? Busquets and
Alba.
Jordi Alba, and that opened up the game because then Allende was able to attack more. Is it a coincidence that Allende comes in and then a couple of minutes later we get a penalty because of an Allende run? Like, that's what I'm trying to say is the best 11 is basically what you see right here in front of you, right? What you're watching, give or take Rodriguez, instead of having Baltasar, you have Telasco, but it doesn't work from an attacking perspective in my mind, and I think that that's what I am concerned with if you use this in a final. Does that make sense? Like, I think
it makes sense. It makes total sense. I think though, you're then
like the 3-1 is not because of this lineup, guys. Like that, we need to understand that the three.
Well, no, I disagree. I think you score goals in first halves, you score goals in second halves, but Leo, Messi, and Suarez, they were doing the same creation that they always were doing.
But this lineup didn't
Paul
win you the
missed, like,
game.
3 things that could have gotten a goal, but it didn't need to. The point was it started the game, and that's where I think we're disagreeing with. Like, for example, you immediately, if you want to change, and I agree with this comment, this is the lineup to win a final, in my opinion. But I think Segovia for Baltasar, because although Baltasar played well, and played great and did a lot of good things, I think Segovia is a goal scorer right now, and like he is the attacking technician that you worry about. And so when you do that, you allow Messi to run in as a right winger and be able to be slicing and dicing and getting tiki taki with Suarez, tiki taki with Rodrigo De Paul that's next to him, tiki taki to Jordi Alba with the switch. All of that can still happen.
Do you think this lineup won the game? Like, both of you, do you both think that this lineup that we're looking at right here, did this lineup win the game?
Yes.
I disagree, Matt.
Well, I think I would know, because I said Segovia. I think if it was Segovia over Rodriguez, I'd say yes. That's the only.
But what do you mean? Like these 11 players?
So
like,
with these 11, because with these 11 players, we were down 1-0. With a different lineup, we scored 3 goals. Now, given it was because
we
one
have
change,
in the last
was it
10
not?
games with that line.
we had the lineup that won the game was with Telasco, with Allende, and with Busquets as a third center back, along with Jordi, Frey, and Falcon help in the back. Like that was the lineup that won this game.
Busquets and Bright.
Huh?
It was still Busquets, Bright, and DePaul as well.
Correct. But my point is that Allende and Telasco won us the game. They're the ones that won us the game.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that there's still something to figure out there. Like, I love this lineup. My point is that there's not enough attack, and with this lineup, we were down 1-0.
Then
So
Why would you
maybe
think that Velasco and Allende won us the game?
because and I was just gonna say though, but they didn't win us the game the last 10 times. So yeah, in this particular game, they were the two scorers, but I just think you're discounting the system and the build up. Like the what you can't just say this, because the sub came in, they won and they like the sub scored, so that means the lineup was wrong. Like I don't think
I
they're
don't think the lineup
connected.
was wrong. I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that while I like this lineup, I think it doesn't have enough in attack.
I
Is my
agree,
is,
and I
is
think
my
you can
point.
create more in attack. Like, what if I were to say to you, and this I think you can't do all game, but what if I were to say to you, Allende is in this lineup, uh, Lujan is not, and you have Busquets mainly be that back three, and then you have Bright and then DePaul, let's say, like and you start with the idea of doing that like kind of 3-5-2 esque look with Messi and Allende, or
Yeah,
excuse me, with Messi and Suarez, and then then whether it's Segovia or Rodriguez on one side, and it's Ian Fray and DePaul on the other, whatever. Sometimes like the players will change. It could be an Allende, it could be a Segovia, whatever.
yeah.
You can attack and win, I guess,
That
is
could work.
what
Matt?
I'm saying.
I think because before I wasn't really understanding the point, but now I think I understand it a little bit more about, I guess, you saying that this starting 11 did not have enough attacking prowess to, I guess, just be more dominant in the attack. I kind of see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from with that ideology, because if you look at the lineup, we have De Paul, and then we have Baltasar Rodriguez, and then we have Messi and Suarez, who really just drop in deep and kind of play outside of the penalty area, right? And then when we have De Paul, he plays a little bit more centrally as well. He also doesn't really drive into the box like that. So really the only kind of attacking player that could really make those runs would be Baltasar Rodriguez. And then when you have Telasco Segovia, and then when you have Tadeo Allende, they make those runs into the penalty area. Like Tadeo Allende, really tries to get into those goal scoring positions like we always talk about. And whether he's successful or not is a different story. But I understand where you're coming from that standpoint. I do want to point out as well that Orlando played extremely defensive in this game, which I guess maybe, I don't know, depends on how you look at it, would be normally the teams that we face, they would play very defensive. But when you look at how defensively they played in this game, and they were really crowding the middle of the pitch. They were forcing us. They were trying to force us out wide, trying to force us to play to Jordi, to Ian, whoever. And then when we were trying to deliver into the box, there would rarely be anybody. There wouldn't be a Tadeo Allende. Suarez wasn't going to be there. There wasn't really anybody. So I don't know what the point the point I'm trying to make is I don't disagree with you, Gian. But I also want to say that it also is very situational and very circumstantial, because when you have Telasco Segovia, when you have Tadeo Allende, it's great. They also haven't been producing. They haven't really been producing or finishing goal scoring opportunities when they do get starts. So to kind of wrap what I'm saying, maybe this is the lineup that we have to go with. And then with the strategy and the tactic that we went through against Orlando, maybe we do bring in Telasco Segovia or Tadeo Allende in the second half to kind of bolster the attack maybe a little bit more, to bring in a little bit of unpredictability, because they weren't really expecting the kind of attacking plays that Tadeo Allende and Telasco Segovia were bringing. Those runs from behind, the Orlando couldn't really handle it. Plus, going a man down didn't help as well. So it was a lot of circumstantial. So I don't disagree with you, but I think it's very situational.
Yeah, I think that this, like, for me, this lineup is a really good lineup. It lacks attack, and what I think is it's a small sample size, I guess, to go
Mhm.
100% in my direction as well
Mhm.
and say that it's not going to work. It's too
Mhm.
small a sample size.
Mhm.
But if that's the case, where we're going to go and have a solid midfield and have a solid defense with this is a very like contained. We're going to close all of the all the passing lanes. Like it's going to make it tough on the opposing offense. Then
Mhm.
that's fine. And I think like
Because
what
that's
you said,
essentially what happened.
yeah,
If you want a team that can control the game, control possession, make passes like this, it's this team. It's this 11 with De
yeah,
Paul, with Busquets, with
And I
Bright.
And
It's
I
all these
think you
guys.
yeah,
realize when you have Messi and Suarez, maybe what part of the realization had been is that they need to feel like they don't have to run 100 meters 7 times in the first half. Like maybe that's part of the thinking too is you're going with this more controlled approach. I'd also say to you, Gian, you can take variations of this. Like I you could equally I feel like just as equally as what when Segovia scored or whatever, you could have seen DePaul get a good ball into Suarez for a tap in this type of lineup. If Segovia was in instead of Baltasar, you could have seen he makes one move and he makes a shot. Like I think that you could have seen they put Rodrigo DePaul on the left because he's a very versatile player, and they have Allende play in this kind of system. Like I think you'll be able to see different versions of it. I think though that the point of making it is that there could be different attacking ways that you figure out how to get more attack, but the priority right now I think is having your field be as strong as possible so that Messi and Suarez aren't worried and having to
yeah,
do so much.
makes sense.
'Cause it protects them in this way. That's why at 90 minutes, we hear Lionel Messi saying, "I feel 100%, like, yeah, I can keep going, like, I'll keep scoring on you." Like,
Yeah,
it's because he didn't have to be crazy from minute 1, which is,
yeah,
it's a new theory. I think no one's wrong. There's so many different ways to play soccer. Every match is different. So, I hope we continue to see next ones.
hmm,
Um, alright, well, I think we got out our thoughts on this for sure. And a new thing that will be fun to see is not only how we saw it, but thank you for that transition, Gian. How I guess how the scores say it. You talk more about it because I don't understand this. Like I don't know this. This is like a little out of
yeah.
my league. So you
Probably,
explain.
I think Matt probably know he references Sofa scores a lot. I think Sofa score is interesting, especially now it's becoming more of a legitimate model to be able to rate players' performances. It takes out the objectivity and excuse me, it adds less of an opinion around it. It's all based around algorithms
Mhm.
by a software that's done. So it's not like, oh, I think this, I think that, and this different people can rate it differently. And they even did as of recently, I think it was earlier this month, they had a SofaScore official like ceremony where you had people from CBS on there.
Oh, that's so cool.
What's his name? Matt Cantor's son, Andres Cantor's son.
Nico.
Nico Cantor.
Nico
Yeah.
Cantor was presenting the girls, the girl from CBS Sports from the Champions League with Thierry Henry and
Kate,
Oh,
Kate,
yes.
Haley was
Kate
presenting.
Abdo. She's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a pretty big deal. So I thought it'd be pretty cool just to go through them. We don't have to take a long time, but just
Mhm.
kind of look at some of these. So Jordi Alba,
So
uh,
who got the best score? I would never guess, but so tell me, or else I'll never
Yeah,
know.
Lionel Messi is SofaScore's man of the match with a 9.0 rating. Well deserved, 2 goals. Jordi Alba comes short with an 8.2 rating. And then the third highest, I believe, is Rodrigo de Paul at 7.7, if I see
Mhm.
that right. Yep.
yeah,
And then we have Ustari, Lujan, and Suarez and Baltasar all with like about 7.1, 7.2. And then we have the lowest being Yannick Bright and Ian Frey,
Which is crazy to
which is
me.
crazy, yeah. Because
But that's the
but
point, it's like what they contribute to the team in terms of like the goals or whatever is they're playing a different role. Also, what I like though is like it becomes a question of like would you rather see a bunch of yellow and greens and have one or two blues, or would you rather have maybe two blues and then 4 reds and oranges like
Yeah, I was
Orlando
gonna say
has.
I'd rather
You know what I
have it
mean?
look
Like
like
the
us
Orlando
instead
one
of
is
the
much
Orlando.
more on the negative
Yeah.
side.
I'm just thinking Ashley's getting a lawyer to send a letter to a SofaScore right now about her
No,
clients.
no, no, no,
This is
and look,
defamatory.
I don't. It's just what I see, right? Like, and we all know soccer, so I mean, you know so much more about soccer than I do, Gian, and you've seen so much more from Barcelona and formations and just watching it, and you know what you've watched in Ecuador. So it's just me say I guess saying what I see and what I like, and it's a personal preference, and hopefully we continue to see all of it. And most importantly, though, we continue to see one particular man, and that man is Lionel Andres Messi, who scores a brace with a beautiful penalty kick and a goal that you know poets write sonnets on, and just um our show is called Messi and Co. We know it, and we've talked about it at before his injury. You know how it was 16 goal contributions in 7 matches. There's just he's literally the greatest soccer player to ever play, and these goals and these moments, he just knows where to be.
Absolutely. And and those 2 goals, not even I mean, the first goal was just a penalty kick, but that second goal was just brilliance, absolute brilliance, vintage Barcelona at type of goal, linking with Jordi Alba, and I'm just glad that he's back. I'm just glad that he's back and feeling good, and I just really I can't imagine a world without without Lionel Messi. That's all I know growing up. That's literally all I know.
Yeah,
took
it's
over
that.
took over the second half for us, thank God.
Yeah.
So it is
And
amazing.
just let's watch because you
Yeah.
know it just never gets old. And as a heads up, the audio is a little off from the videos, but we want to make sure you guys could see them clearly. So don't listen as much, but watch the magic unfold.
I smile every single time I watch that, man.
And then oh, you're muted, Gian.
Yeah, sorry. That second goal was just incredible.
So
Incredible.
nasty.
It reminded me of the tiki-taka days at Barca, like
Yeah.
just in
And
the
That's what what's his name? Taylor Twellman on the Apple English broadcast said. He goes, "This is how many times in our lifetime are we gonna say, uh, we're gonna say Suarez to Alba, Alba to Messi, Messi back to Alba, Alba to Messi, goal." How many times are we gonna hear that phrase? Because we've been hearing it for 13 years, and it still is just as beautiful every time. That penalty with Galassi, excuse me, even guessing the right way, and Messi not even doing a running start. It was just the guy he side nets it like
Mhm.
even the basic is the extraordinary for Messi, and that's what I think makes each time you watch it so special because it's just always perfect.
Yeah, and I do want to give props to Gallese for diving the right way, but just Messi is just so
It's just
precise with
he put
his.
it in the side corner, like he
Yeah.
literally bent it into the side corner.
Yeah, Messi's just so precise with every shot that he takes. So I mean, that just shows his world class and his brilliance. And the clip didn't show it for the second goal, but that whole
Sequence
play,
after,
the whole sequence
yeah,
started in from like outside the box. Like Messi wasn't even in frame when that sequence started. He was outside the box. He came in, he dribbled through 3 defenders, laid it off to Alba, then Alba laid it back off to Messi with a one touch. Messi takes a touch, scores it with his left foot, and it's an absolute golazo from Lionel Messi. And it's like I won't ever get tired of
of that
watching goals like
play.
that. I just won't
It's
ever
like
get tired.
shark wheel, which is I don't know if you know like the NFL football reference or whatever. It's like a pick and roll. Like I'll never get tired of it. If it works,
You'll never
it
get
always
tired of
works,
seeing
and
Messi
it's you love to
doing
watch it.
brilliance.
An
Absolutely.
alley oop is never gonna go out of style, you
Mhm,
know? Like,
mhm.
every time you do it, I'm like, "Damn, sick that was a sick goal."
Yeah.
And now another sick goal is the unexpected goal and the goal that sealed the victory at 100%. And that was off of the bench to his credit, Velasco Segovia.
I didn't think anything could beat that second goal, and then I saw that one. I was like, "What the?"
He Bro
How
goes through
Hmm.
3 Orlando defenders and does a tiki taka with Luis Suarez. Like,
The chip at the end was
I mean, it
beautiful.
was like 4, like, "Huh? Huh? Huh?" and moments in a row
Mhm.
from and hell of a job by the kid because you're right, it was a technically perfect goal that started at the halfway line with Rodrigo de Paul. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no words can like that. Messi's not the only one that can do it. Let's just put it that way. When Telasco feels up to it, then he's capable of doing something similar as well. And props to Suarez for linking up that play as well.
Let's think
And
about
a brilliant goal.
how about Suarez? Let's talk about Suarez for a really quick second before we kind of give our final thoughts. Even though Suarez didn't score and wasn't, he wasn't in he got only 1 assist of the 3 goals. Did you feel his presence and energy and how in some way every goal or goal scoring opportunity was because of something he did? And although he doesn't get the goal and he didn't get all the assists, I felt his presence, like, I felt like he was being so efficient with how he was using his body and hold up play and how he was creating and giving the tiki-taki or trying to draw the foul or doing all of those things. Um, Even though it doesn't show up in the score sheet or, in the stat book, you saw that was a Luis Suarez masterclass without a goal, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Suarez always shows his presence in every single game, so it's not surprising to me. But hopefully, it's convincing to all the haters
More
out there.
people that they
Yeah.
understand he's just being asked to do something different, and he's good enough of a player that he can do it that way as well. We just didn't know about it.
Mhm.
We weren't given the info at the beginning of the season that his role was gonna change, but when you look at what remember Matt said, what was it, 20 goal contributions in 24 matches?
Something like that.
He's doing his thing. It just is coming in a way we're not used to seeing.
His passing was so underrated. It's just incredible. It's what he hasn't done in goal scoring, he's done with the passing. And I think a lot of the goals that we've had have been indirectly because of him. And it may not show up on the assist sheet, but he was definitely part of the build up play getting to the goal. So
Huge part of the match.
incredible. Yeah.
And the celebration, that Messi goal, I just wanted to say, like, I know we don't have the full clip, but to first the goal and then him running and the teammates and the subs and the players on the bench running to him jumping into everyone's arms, the whole team, the fireworks. This is no joke to them. The passion he still has and that they still have is so beautiful to see. And then he goes and hugs his teammates, and then he goes and he hugs 2 of his sons who are there, and it's just in a moment, it's like you watch the brilliance of the goal and you watch. I mean, Messi, he's completed life. He's done
Yeah.
life the right way in football, in family, and in just who the person he is. And the every single person in the crowd, not Orlando fans, but every single person in the crowd was just watching that moment with a smile on their face because we're lucky to have someone like him in all ways, you know?
Damn, you came
Absolutely.
inspired today, Ash. Holy cow. We just need to
Well,
give you
it was really sweet. I just thought it was just a really sweet moment. It just was just the
all you
whole
need is an R&B beat in the background and spoken word concert. That was
what?
sick.
Sorry,
I love it.
I'm just feeling myself a lot. Like I said, I brought the swag, I brought the jersey, I brought the Prophet chain. Where'd that go? I lost that. I still have the jersey though, and I have the fit. I just felt it today, but
You are
it
inspired.
was a great game, and it's not always how you start, it's how you finish. And this Inter Miami team, they stepped up when they had to, and we were thoroughly entertained from minute 1 to minute 93. And it was just a memorable match that we'll always have and a memory. And now we are gonna be traveling to Seattle, not us 3, but I have an announcement about
I
that
was gonna say I'm
actually.
I
staying
thought
right
you were gonna
here. I was
surprise us,
gonna.
man. Damn. Are you serious?
You guys, we got a new sponsor and you got us plane tickets.
Yeah. Oh
It's
man.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars
Oh yes.
or Mars bars, but,
More of a
anyways,
joke.
Magnum bars, right, those I keep forgetting about our ice cream conversation even though I'm currently Neapolitan.
True.
To wrap it up, all of this to say, what a match, and, we're in the finals. we're in the League's Cup final taking place Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, uh, against the Seattle Sounders, and they play in their NFL stadium there, and they get pretty big crowds even for an NFL-sized stadium. So the atmosphere and the energy is going to be electric, and we have a chance for Lionel Messi to win his third major trophy for this Inter Miami team, and what could hopefully be maybe the beginning of another trophy of an MLS Cup, just the beginning, you know. So how are we feeling about our excitement for Sunday?
I'm excited for this team. I think they're going to do it. And I think that whatever lineup they choose, whether it's the one
Mhm.
that doesn't have as much as a oomph in attack or the one that has too much oomph in attack, I think they got enough
Or
to
the
get
one
it
that
done.
grows into
Or the one
who
that goes
knows?
from numph to umph. Whichever,
Exactly. That's
which, which,
perfect. Exactly.
whichever, I think they got enough to get it done. It'll be exciting. We know that we've got Messi around for a few more years. And to lock this in, get
Wow, look
another
at that.
trophy. Um, yeah, to get
That's
another
amazing.
trophy and then also to get a berth in the Champions Cup for next season, I think is the most important thing, at least for me, out of this trophy. So I'm looking forward to it. A quick turnaround, but exciting and can't wait for it.
We can't wait for it.
I
Matt,
can't wait
any
either.
last yeah, any
Yeah.
last thoughts you wanna give?
Yeah, no, the atmosphere is going to be electric. Playing on turf field is going to be a little but I'm still very, very excited. Another final that we can all be a part of, and we're just going to take in every single moment of it and just I don't know, just enjoy it, because this is another final with this team, with Lionel Messi, with all of these European superstars, and hopefully this is another opportunity where we can see all of these guys race another trophy, the third in this club's short history. And so I just can't wait for Sunday.
Well, you said something interesting there.
Mhm.
Well, and I'll say this: the 66,000. That's amazing.
Yeah,
66,000.
66,000
That's
is insane.
amazing. It's going to be a great atmosphere. I promise you this: even though it will be majority Seattle, you'll still see La Familia and you'll see pink shirts because Messi's still Messi, and everywhere there's even a 5% home advantage when you have the greatest of all time. So I think Matt, you said something there. You said that we are going to be a part of it. And we are in more ways than one because we're not official yet with all the logistics and details and how we're all going to do it. But for this match, for Sunday's match at 5 p.m., we are going to do a live stream during the match, a live match stream, all watching from our own places, um, to watch and react in real time, uh, for what is hopefully Inter Miami winning the League's Cup, and hopefully you guys will be there watching with us, and we can have some amazing discussions and watch what's going to be an amazing final for this tournament. So
Absolutely.
more info to come on that, but hopefully we'll have you guys join and have some fun.
Yep.
That is that you having fun?
That's me having fun. That's me showing my emotion and my excitement, and I can't wait to share that game with everyone as we talk through it and have some fun. And
We did it, Gian, a few months ago when I was away, and it was fun.
yeah, it was.
We had a
It was
lot of
fun.
great people in the chat. Everyone was watching, and everyone was 2 to 3 seconds off, so we were all trying to not spoil it. It was a fun time. So I think it'll be great to recreate that this Sunday. And
Yes.
yeah, we'll see you guys there for it. But vamos Inter Miami. Vamos Inter Messi Lionel Messi, sorry. And vamos just the freedom to dream because as an Inter Miami fan, man, I'm enjoying every second of it and I
Oh,
can't wait to watch it. You think I'm being too poetic? Is that what it is?
bro, it's wild. This is the most poetic episode
You're
I've
going to make
ever
me
heard.
cry.
This is
But
yeah,
it
for
oh,
real.
I'm
Freedom to
talking too
dream.
much. Is that what you're saying? I'm talking too much today?
No, but you're gonna get Matt and I in our feels, bro. With these,
Yeah.
like you spit some deep stuff, man. This episode is crazy,
Yes.
like
I just
inspired, man.
It's
it was so
like,
happy last night. I felt
I'm
so
just like,
happy.
oh, Gian, how's it gonna be? I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be exciting. And then you come out with the
you're like the
freedom
freedom
to
to dream. And
dream.
I'm like, damn.
It's true. I think
Oh
it's
my
true.
God.
You watch it and
I'm
just
touched.
as people who are all three of us as South Floridians who love soccer, I
Mhm.
think it's really special that we get to experience it.
Absolutely.
Yes, couldn't
So,
have said it better myself.
with that in mind, thank you everyone for listening. another episode of Messi and Co. Make sure, as always, of course, that you're following us on all platforms. And what we I don't see our platform thing. Okay, it's fine. I know them by heart. We follow us on X/Twitter at Messi and Co. And make sure you're subscribed on YouTube at 5 Reasons Football. We have so much content that's constantly happening. Clips from our videos, um, uh, match highlights, player color commentary, um, predictions, lineup news, team news, interviews, everything. We have it all. So make sure you're tuned in. We can't wait to see you guys this Sunday. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Bye.